There we go, my man.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing all right, brother. Doing all right. How's your
All
day
right.
going?
It's going actually well. I mean, besides the snow,
I wouldn't
we
know
got.
anything about that, my friend.
I know
Wouldn't know.
Colombia is nice and hot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Plus,
So,
I moved to Tampa from the States, so
are you lucky?
yeah,
But one
yeah.
thing I could say, will say is, since I'm a teacher, that snow day
Uh,
was lovely. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I am not mad at you.
Yeah, I
You
enjoyed
don't
it.
think about it from a teacher's perspective.
Oh man, I was jumping for joy. I went to bed. I went to bed at 10:30.
Uh,
Instead of my normal 9.
uh.
I
All right.
was having a great time. But I
That's
would like to
good,
say
man.
thank you for joining me, man.
Oh
You
yeah, I'm excited.
are you are the man, the myth, the legend. Love crossing borders himself.
Oh yeah, man.
You
I'm
know,
glad that you invited me on.
and I'm glad that you accepted.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Oh
like for
yeah.
me, similar to your channel, my channel, it's a young up and coming channel where
Mhm.
my ultimate goal is to travel to many countries that I enjoy, to relocate to that certain country. So for me, it's about culture. It's really about culture and getting to know the people, and can I actually, you know, be okay living there.
Right.
So yeah,
Right. Absolutely.
that's me. So like that's what my channel is about. Cause I realized my first trip to Costa Rica, it just took me by storm. And I was just like, I was telling my boys, man, they trying to kill us in the States, man. The air was different, the food, the food was different, everything
Yeah.
was different. And I was just like, wow, how can I figure out how to live overseas, you know?
Okay. It's great that you would say that. I got a book coming out called Everywhere is Possible. And so be launching that in a couple weeks. And I
Oh,
talk about that. How can a person live in another country and what steps can they take? And if most people don't know you can live in over 60% of the world for under $2,500 a month. And I mean live comfortably. For
oh yeah.
example, we live in the suburbs of Cali, Colombia, and
Yes.
we have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, security, swimming pools. Live in a wonderful, quiet neighborhood, just really, really nice. The gym's down the street, the grocery stores right down the street, all the eateries and malls that you want. And between our utilities, our Wi-Fi, our cable, and our apartment for the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, with a great view, we pay $800 a month.
Ooh, you can't beat that.
Yeah,
You know, and when I was thinking, like, I was because I know in Costa Rica, um, I travel, I frequent Costa Rica a lot. So far
right.
like 8 times. Hence the name Tico. So that's what they call the locals there, Tico. So I just added, I'm black, so I added Negro.
There
So
you go. There
hey,
you go.
and for Costa Rica, the cost of living is just it's similar to Colombia, but it's very cheap. But it's like if you're vacationing, it could be pretty pricey.
That's what
So
I heard.
oh yeah, it can be pretty pricey. But if you're actually just renting, and it's not as pricey as one would think if you actually live there. But I would not try to own any property because I've done some research, and
Uh-huh.
sometimes it's hard to find good help, meaning like good, um, um, reliable businesses, honest businesses. So I think I would just be renting while I move out the states.
Wow. Wow. That's not bad. That's not bad at
Yeah,
all because I often say this that when you get ready to relocate to any country in the world, you want to do first your first few trips like you're doing your recon. You want to
yeah,
see what country you want to be in. Okay, check. What city or cities are you considering? Check. Number three, you want to do is what side of the city you want to be on. Because
Yes.
one area of a city you may be in walking distance, in the other area of a city you might be in have to be in driving distance. So
Yes.
you have to find out, and if it's in walking distance, if is one area flat, more flat, and or is another area like Atlanta and San Francisco more hilly. So I often tell people your first 6 months to a year of discovering a country, you're considering moving there. Make sure you look for those three things. Make sure you look as you're looking for your country, looking for which city, looking for what side of a city that you want to live on, and those
Yes.
things will make your transition a lot smoother.
And that's very good. And I also one thing I've started to do is switch my mindset from vacation to living. You know, once
Absolutely
you
right.
I believe once you do that, you know, it makes it a lot easier to pick a country for the right reasons, not for, you know, the wrong reasons. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't really party as much, so that's not my scene. So, and it's not I'm not moving to another country for, you know, the chicas. That's just not me. So, for me, it's more so financial freedom. You know, because I know, like in the country, in the states, it's getting kind of hard, even for professionals
Getting
like myself. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
I
And so I realized that I'm gonna be if I stay in the states, I'm not gonna be able to retire.
no, no, you're gonna first of all, uh, you're gonna get to a stage where you're gonna get that term, the R word, out of your dictionary, because true men of value, we never retire. The
Oh
Trumps
yeah,
don't retire. The Rockefellers never retired. Warren Buffett's not going to retire. They just transition into other ventures. But
yes,
no real man of substance ever uses the R word. We always find some new ventures to go off into. You've got NFL players that became court judges, district
yeah,
judges. You've got individuals that are Magic Johnson transitioned from being one of the greatest basketball players to one of the greatest business uh, spokesperson and marketers, such as Shaquille O'Neal has done. The same thing with Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is on every other commercial now, going from the
yes,
hip hop streets, and so there's never really a such thing for men of substance to even use the R word. Uh, but just like you're mentioning, the next stage or the next transition, you're preparing yourself for the economic stability, and no matter what stage of life that you're going to be in. So
yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
And my question for you is, since you are actually doing it, what
Mhm.
steps did you take? You know, what can you tell people the steps to take actually to prepare yourself to move to make that move?
The first thing is as I mentioned before, the three steps. Actually, there are five we're going to talk about real quick. The
Yes,
first one is the mental overcoming. We've been programmed in the United States to think every other plantation is different from our plantation. And no, we have a plantation that we live on just like other people live on theirs. And so it's the mental aspect. I'm part of Reddit groups and doing research for my books and things like that. And then the 200 consultations that I've done over the last year, I've discovered this about people. A lot of times when it comes to the transition, we create excuses. Excuses
yes.
fall into four categories. They fall into either the excuse of fears, or something that we're worried about. I ain't gonna have enough money, or I ain't got enough time to do it, whatever it may be. The next one is distractions. They've got people distracting them. They got, well, I got to go do this. I really want to move, but I got to take care of that. I got my mama. They got so many excuses of distractions. Complacency, meaning that they're in their comfort zone. Some people have been working in their career for so long, it's their comfort zone, and they can't see themselves doing anything else. I was a academic college recruiter for 20 years. I could have
Yeah.
easily stayed. I was making 87,000 a year. I could have easily stayed in the States. I'm living in Tampa, Florida. I'm living in Riverview, one of the suburbs of Tampa. Got my own house. I got a convertible vehicle. I got a Ford F-150 Harley Davidson edition. You can't tell me nothing. And I got all the foreign ladies that I want. I'm living in Florida. So if anybody had no excuse, no kids, if
Mhm.
anybody had an excuse to stay in the States and still, I'm making good money and I'm living with no snowstorms and no snow days, uh, anybody I could have had that. But the first thing that I could have, in other words, the comfort zone excuse.
Yes.
People have to get out of their comfort zone and get out of their own way. And the last
Mhm.
one is discouragement. So we talked about the first thing of the five that we're talking about, of the five, is mental block. Mental block of excuses, fears, distractions, complacency, discouragement. They tried to do something one time, or they read about somebody that tried to do it. Well, my friend tried to move to Poland and it didn't work. They had to come back. Well, my cousin said that da 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 da, or that's too expensive. Why are you trying to do that? My
Mhm.
boy tried to. We use the tales of the crypt or the falter stories of others to distract us or give us an excuse to not go after our own.
Yeah.
And so
And I
that's
think, and I was gonna say, I think that comes from poor preparation. And
yeah,
because like what I'm currently doing now is first I'm downsizing my way of living, making sure no like making sure I'm saving as much money as possible, making sure I do the right investments. Investing in the stock market, investing in crypto, and in the springtime I should be ready to buy a multi-family home. I use the program through NACA. So I'm trying to get my decks in a row before I make that
right.
transition. And
That's
certain
exactly how
things,
you do it.
and I don't want to like, I still have a car note. It's going to be paid off by the summertime. So I'm really going to put my foot to the gas to actually to transition out of, the States, once, the car note's paid off of, and
Mhm.
once I'm able to find a remote job, because I'm currently in a program now for instructional design. And it's more of like a sidestep from being a teacher, like, and it's remote. So that's one thing I'm doing now. So those are my steps that I'm doing. So I'm just not just leaving it to happenstance and trying to I'm not trying to disrespect no subscribers that do no content creators that do it. I'm not trying to e-beg. I'm not trying to ask because I'm a grown man. No one's going to do it but yourself. Your savior,
Absolutely correct.
so like that's my steps I'm taking now. And I like that you have outlined, 5 steps to actually take, if you are thinking of leaving the States. And I think that's very smart and, informative.
You already talked about number 2. Number 2 is there's a vacation you and there's a relocation you. The vacation you sees things and goes to places that are a little bit more expensive in that same city than the relocation you. Relocation you knows where the best grocery stores are, where
Yes.
your gym membership is, you got a yearly or month to month membership compared to your vacation gym membership may be a little bit more expensive because you're going to be there only for a couple of weeks or a few or 10 days.
Yeah.
The vacation you pays at restaurants. The relocation you goes to the grocery store. You go
Yes.
home. So you're eating and you're meeting people. The vacation y'all need the party girls, you're meeting cool people, but the relocation you is a networker. You're
Yeah.
networking with people that can show you, okay, this is where the hospital is. Okay, this is where I go for insurance. Okay, cool. Get my international insurance, medical insurance. Okay, good. Man, I'm thinking about joining a cooking class or joining a salsa class or whatever it may be. The locals can introduce you to that, and then they start to introduce you to the ladies that you don't meet as a vacationer, because vacationers meet the
Exactly.
party girls and the scammers and the pay for plays. The
Oh, man.
relocator, you meet a dude, he's introduced you to his female cousin, his sister, his female best friend, because you're networking now. So number 2 is, do realize, like you just mentioned, there's a difference between the vacation you and the relocation you.
Absolutely. And I think people, like, don't get me wrong, if you're just there for vacation, do what your heart
Yeah, that's right.
desires. You know, have your fun because those are your, couple of days. You probably have 7 days. Live it up. But for me, like transitioning my mindset to, okay, I can't always go out to eat. Which one's the better grocery stores? Because in Costa Rica, there's 3 different places where people go and get food from. One is like the more expensive grocery store. I forgot the name of it, but it's more like a Whole Foods and stuff like that. The
Mm-hmm.
locals don't go. The locals don't go there. The other grocery store that mainly the locals go to is called Pali or Maxi Pali. So Maxi Pali is like the super giant or the
Right.
super Walmart. So it's like you have to know where to go, and also where the locals go frequent the most are the markets. You got to go to a butcher to make it. First time I went to a butcher, I didn't want to eat meat anymore because that smell. That was something out of this world. So going to the markets and to the farmers markets, that's where they go. So
Yeah.
you got to get yourself used to going to those places.
Yep. We were at the
And that's
farmer's market yesterday, pick up all our fruits and vegetables just yesterday.
yep. That's where I go when I'm in Costa Rica. So
Mm-hmm.
and I try to stay away from the, like I said, I started trying to stay away from the party girls because that's, oh man, they're they're a lot smarter than you think. you
Preach,
know,
past.
they're a lot smarter than you think, and they will use any and everything to tug on your heartstrings. And I think the guys don't realize that. You, I like to compare foreign women and American women to 2 basketball players. I like to compare the American woman to like a young prime Shaq, just
Right.
gonna dunk on you, back you down, just boom, break the rim, no finessing. And that foreign woman is more like a Dirk Nowitzki.
Shout out
She's
to Dirk.
just, huh? Yeah, shout out to
Shout
Dirk.
out to
Like
Dirk.
a Dirk, like a Dirk Nowitzki. Just smooth, give you that jumper, you know what I'm saying? Give you a nice Euro step, but they're still gonna score. It's just they go about it different ways. And once if you don't realize that the women overseas go about it a different way, oh, you're gonna be in a world of hurt. Like that's the problem. I think that's what a lot of guys don't understand. And I had to figure that out for myself as well. You know, they'll tell you what you need to hear. Like, for some strange reason, we love that they calling us poppy. That's our weakness, you know. Calling us poppy, Mia Moore, just love bombing you. You're just like you gonna do everything. And then she mess around, cookie some huevos rancheros or whatever, empanadas, whatever, arroz con pollo, whatever you like, and serve it to you just to hook you.
Yep.
It's different. Like, but what is your advice for actually, like, okay, once we made the relocation, like you said, get into the circles of community, right? Whether it's your local gym, like salsa class, like wherever you
The
may go.
English speaking, like in me, you and I case, Spanish speaking classes.
Yeah,
Most cities around the world now have uh, expat meetup groups to where
exactly.
expats and locals meet up. Gringo, like here in Colombia, we have Gringo Tuesday in every major city. So on
Oh yeah,
Tuesday night,
I was there when I was in Cartagena. My boy sent me that Gringo Tuesday, which I didn't attend. I mean, because I'm not really I don't go to the party scene. That's not me. So I got it all out my system in my 20s. If I was in my 20s, I would be there. But
now this is the difference between what you're planning to do on Gringo Tuesdays. See, a lot of times we think that partying is just for us men. Correct me if
yeah,
I'm wrong, even in your case. A lot of times for us men, we assume that what America or UK or Canada defines as partying, the rest of the world does.
mhm.
Much of South America and Central America defines partying in the sense of socializing, getting
Oh,
to know people, meeting people, somebody that you'll meet there. I'll give you a perfect example. One of the things that keeps my Spanish trash is I can salsa dance real good, but my Spanish is good enough to where by the time I've left the dance floor, I've met senators, I've met women that are bank tellers, nurses, attorneys, all from being on the dance floor.
Yes.
Now, I'm married. I'm not about to sleep with these women, but if I need some help with a particular thing, I've got that person's information in my phone. So a lot of times
Yeah.
when we go out, when we were going out hanging out in the States, it was more like I'm putting a woman in my phone because I'm smashing. So
Yeah.
that's our version. But in South America, it's more of a socializing. Even the dancing, dude. It's here in Colombia, man. It's nothing for you to dance with a single woman. It's nothing for you to walk up to a woman who's with her man. Say, you mind if I dance with your wife or your girlfriend? Oh no, y'all go ahead and dance. I've danced with
Yeah.
so many girlfriends and wives. Came back to the table. Husband had a drink or boyfriend had a drink waiting for us. I'm meeting all the other people at the table. And this happened several times. And so when it comes to going out for Colombians, now mind you, when we as vacationers go out, we go to party, club, party spots that vacationers go to with American hip hop music or
Yeah.
reggaeton. That's for vacationers. But then there are local nice little spots that are social spots, social bars. Maybe let's say you're not a club person, but you might be a bar person or a sports bar person.
Mhm.
Those are where locals go to, just quiet little sports bar. Everybody just kind of socializing, listen to some music, and they're just kind of like getting to know and reach out to each other. Reason why I say that is important in South America and in Central America because it's in other words, it's safety in numbers.
Yes.
And what I mean by this, you'll meet the good woman through somebody else.
Absolutely.
You all
Because
they feel like, okay, he's a cool dude. She's a cool chick. I've been knowing her for a few years. Let me hook them up. That's why they feel like it's
absolutely.
safer to meet somebody through somebody.
Yes. Because and also when I have tried to talk to, the local women, they'll say, "Oh, can my friend come?" Or because they don't feel safe going by themselves. And I noticed that, I didn't think of like first I thought it was like it's kind of weird, because our dating culture in America is different. But it makes sense because if they value community, what is the best way? You got to get to know the community, and that helps you know the people. So, and I think that's like, that's really a smart way of doing it. And also, I remember you kind of made fun of my dancing. I work on my hips.
Don't
Yeah,
lie,
that's
bro.
another. I think everyone out there, fellas, if you are trying to get a Latina, you have to know how to dance.
That's a
That
must.
that is a big thing because I'm gonna go into my little personal life for a second. The girl I was engaged to,
Uh-huh.
she loved the dance, and guess what? I didn't know how to, but I would try, but it was
Right.
that bad. So you got to remember, like a part of their culture is dancing, and they love to dance. So if you don't know how to, you're denying them a piece of themselves. So fellas, work on your Spanish and work on your dancing. Work on your salsa, work on your bachata, work on your merengue.
Ringing. See,
You know, you gotta work on them
true. And
because
merengue
it
is so simple. It's just side to side and a little twist, a little spin. And you just have to just go out there and do it or take the
yeah.
classes. And what I like about the classes is this reason. Because a lot of times after the classes, your dancing instructor will let you know, well, we're going to be over at so and so's tomorrow, or what are you doing tonight? Oh, me and my girlfriends are going over. Now you're meeting the girlfriends through your salsa instructor. A lot
Yes.
of guys don't realize the salsa instructors will introduce you to some gorgeous women in many cities in South America,
No, you
or
you know,
the
you're absolutely you're absolutely right. I'm a part of the rhythmless nation, but
uh-huh.
I could two step, but I know that's something I have to really what I'm gonna do in the States is take a dancing class, to really submerge myself into the culture, the Latin culture. You have to, that's one
That's
thing
a
I
must.
realized. And that's one thing I realized I kind of hindered my, fiance and my ex-fiance, and I didn't know how to dance, because you can see it in her face sometimes when we go out. She's just itching to be on the dance floor, but she's like, "Oh, I'm with him. I'm with my man." It's like I'm not going to dance with nobody else. I'll dance with my girls, but so learn how to dance, fellas. That's really important, and also work on your Spanish.
Muy
It
bien.
doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be perfect. But as long as it's conversational, you're good. Just work on your Spanish. And
Absolutely.
my question to you is like, I wish I would have saw your videos earlier
Hmm.
because I saw it after, you know, I called off the engagement. And my question to you, can you refresh the audience? Because I know what you said. The audience, out there in YouTube land, especially on my channel, probably do not. So like what are some things to look for when dealing with a Latina in another country?
Okay. First of all, for some of the things you're going to look for, and let's say you're dealing with a woman that's under 35. You want to look for a woman that has an old soul. I don't care if she's 23. She needs to have a soul like she's 43. If she's 27, needs to have a soul like she's 47. Somebody that's extremely mature for her age. A lot of us come to these countries and we see women that are immature, but they're gorgeous. You can find a lot of mature women in South and Central America that are mature, but a lot of guys just don't want to take those few extra moments to do that. Why? They're on vacation mode and not on, like you're going to be, relocation mode. So that's the first thing that I would recommend when it comes to Latin women. Second thing when it comes to Latin women is what you and I were talking about earlier, the love bombing. They do love bomb you, but they love bomb everybody. Everybody gets love bombed. The locals, grandma get love bombed. The kids get in the neighborhood get love. Everybody getting love bombed. So that's a part of the South American culture to just speak in and even in Africa they do that. They speak in more metaphors when they're love bombing them each other,
Yeah.
and so look out for that. If it happens, it happens. Flaking. If your woman flakes you in Central South America, don't take it personal. Everybody's flakes. Everybody flakes. People at the grocery store, your pastor gonna flake you. Her mama gonna flake you. Grandparents gonna flake. If you want to meet her at 2 o'clock, tell her 12 o'clock. Then she'll show up. The other thing to look for is a woman that's looking to do something, or she's in the middle of doing something with her life. I'm not talking about some female that said, I want to be somebody in life, but I don't have the money. No, get with a woman that's got something going on. She's busy. She's like, listen, I can see you this weekend, or I can come through next side. No, I could come through this Wednesday. Or babe, I get off work at 5 o'clock. I'll be over to your spot at 7 and I'll cook you dinner. You gotta have somebody that's doing something. I know you're on vacation mode and you want to have somebody that's up under you at least 5 hours every day while you're on vacation mode. Yeah, vacation mode looks for those ladies, the party girls, the scammers, the
Yeah.
pay for play. That's vacation you. I'm talking to relocators. To you relocators, whether you're going to relocate in 5 months, 5 years, or 15 years, you want to look for somebody that right now is busy.
Yes.
Baby, I can't come see you today. Why? I'm busy. She's accomplishing things. Because once you move down, she moves and shake not only for you, I mean for herself, but she's in the habit and she'll move and shake and move mountains on your behalf. But if you got a woman that's fine as can be, but she's not doing anything with her life, once you move down, she won't do anything in your life.
Oh,
And the
absolutely.
yeah, go ahead.
And sorry to cut you off. And all you will hear is "Papi, dame dinero." That's all you will hear because they have
Mhm.
nothing else going on. And since they don't have anything going on, they're latching on to you of what you got going on. And and that's one thing I messed up. I realize now. Um, I have a master's degree. Am I going to say the person I'm dating has to have a master's degree? No, but they have to have some kind of degree for
Yeah.
me. That's just
Yeah.
my overall standard. If for me looking for a relationship overseas when I relocate, you have to have some type of degree. You know, like you said, you have to have some type of career. And like you said, you have to be busy because if that person is not busy, they're up under you all day, every day, and that's not a good thing because do they not have any business about themselves? So that's another thing. Like fellas, we gotta
Yeah.
think about. They have to have some business about themselves. If they're there to see you on your vacation every day, that's a working girl.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the last thing that you're going to look for in a Colombiana or a Latin woman is someone that still holds the traditional traits of their mothers and grandmothers. And the
Mhm.
reason why I say that is this: a lot of Latin women of this generation and the former generation still were raised by their moms and dads. So
Yes.
they had a two-parent household in many cases. And so she still has some of the traditional traits of her grandma, her great grandma, as well as her peers. If this woman has no connection to mom, dad, grandma, and she only is getting advice from her girlfriends, you're doing something wrong. A lot of times with my wife, I don't have to say anything. Her mom has already said it and will say it again. Her grandma, her aunties, all the man. Listen, I ain't got to say nothing to my wife. They gonna Andre. Did you make sure Andre ate today?
Mhm.
Did you make sure Andre made it down to da 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 da? Oh well, what about this? They're talking like that amongst each other as ladies. So
Exactly.
if you've got a woman that not only is she traditional, but she comes from a family that's traditional, then you're good. The last thing that I want to say about the family is this, and you may meet a good, good woman about her business. But if her social circle and her family is not about their business, it'll be hard treading to keep her on track too. You
Oh yeah,
have to have
absolutely.
that family units that's going to keep. I know some guys that are with Afro-Colombian women, right, which are great ladies, but some
Yeah.
of them come from really impoverished families. And so the person who you met is really nice. She's about her business, but her mom and her family and her brothers and them are broke. And they were already begging her for money before you met her. But now
Yes.
that 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 you know her, now they're gonna ultra beg. Not because of her, but because they were already begging her before you even came along. She went to college, she got a job, she's doing great, she got a career going, and her impoverished family back in her city are begging and begging and begging
Oh yeah.
unnecessarily.
Mhm.
Now here you come, and you're a part of the group of giving your proceeds to family people. No, you want to be, you want your person to come from a family that's doing something. And
Absolutely.
in Andre's family, everybody ain't rich, but they working. Ain't
Yes.
no only unemployed people are one aunt who's a mom. She's been her and her husband's been married forever. She takes care of the kids and grandma. Those are the
Yes.
only people out of 3 generations that ain't working. That means if you ain't a kid and you ain't a stay-at-home mom, or if you ain't a grandma in Andre's family, you ain't got no business being unemployed.
Exactly. And one thing I want people to understand is when you do when you do attempt to have a serious relationship, just remember in some of these Latin American cultures, you just don't marry them, marry the person that you're with. You marry the family. And
You really
so
do.
and if since we're not like if you're not used to that, like some of us are not, and you got to set up boundaries of like what you will give, I believe, and what you won't give, because at the end of the day, if they're gonna bleed you dry, and then once you're dry, it's like who's gonna help you? So I think also put that in your mind to like okay, know what you are willing to give and know what you're not willing to give,
Correct.
because like that's what happened to me Like I was, of course, like Christmas time, like gotta give everybody a gift, which is fine. Then it's like when I got there, I made sure it was all gift wrapped and everything, got a bow on it, but I'm handing out gifts, regalos for everyone. I didn't get anything. And I was just like,
You
that
know
was kind
why?
of, I don't.
I tell you why, easy. And I don't even know your scenario, but I do know this because you were courting in the wrong family. You are
Ooh,
courting someone from a family that is not parallel to the person who you are. I didn't just say the person themselves. I said the family. That person is an offspring of a family, like
yes,
most of us. So since most of us are offsprings of our families, so it is in all these countries around the world. So if that family is the type of family that you like in real life, if they were in the States, you wouldn't have you can give them 2 seconds of your time. You shouldn't give a person that comes from that type of family 2 seconds of your time either. And I bet you this: those people never even asked you for the gifts that you gave. And I bet you that 9 times out of 10, that she probably either love bombed you into getting gifts for the family, or you assumed on your own, I'm going to give gifts to the family. It's going to give me some extra brownie points. Those probably the two things. She either requested it, "Oh, babe, could you give me, my family?" Or you was like, "Extra brownie points. I'm coming down as Black Santa Claus, and I'm gonna give everybody something," not knowing you were getting anything. I have been with Andrea for 7 years. There hasn't been a year in which the family hasn't blessed me. Not 1 year. Even my first year, and I came down here, uh I came out down here the first time, then the second time in November, when I was with Andrea. And I had been down here, years before, but in a relationship with Andrea, I had come down in that July, I believe, November, and then I came back in December. And they all were waiting out for me at the airport. They had a
yeah,
big banner, "Merry Christmas, Andre," the giant everything. It was about the 10 people waiting for me. I ain't never had that in the States. I still got the
yeah,
photo that I took because I turned around, took a selfie with everybody. I still got that photo. What's my point? You have to make sure that if you're not comfortable with the family after meeting the family, oh man, I like her though. Dog, I like her. Yeah, you might like her, but in the end, you might not like the results. There's always consequences for our behavior. And I think that's a word that's kind of taken for granted when it comes to us passport bros and blue book gentlemen and expats and digital nomads. Consequences.
yeah.
And so if being with that person, you didn't get any gifts, I'm gonna tell you something straight to your face. You weren't supposed to. Why? Because you weren't supposed to be in that family or getting with anybody that's an offspring of that family from the get-go. And fortunately, you didn't put a ring on it.
Because like you said, I started to see things, and I was just saying to myself, can do I want this for the rest of my life? Because when I look at the covenant of marriage, it's forever, and it's only done one time. And with that in my mindset, when I noticed that, they were happy, they would thank me and whatnot, but they wasn't as loving, not to say as I would like, but they just wasn't as loving. Because like for my mom, like my parents are from Haiti. Both of my parents are from
Mhm.
Haiti. And when a friend or a potential love partner comes in, my mom is greeting them with the biggest smile, hugging them, making them feel welcome. Did they greet me? Yes, but did I feel like really welcome? Not really. I'm gonna be honest on that. I didn't feel too welcome. It was just like, okay, like it's just another guy, but
You caught that, you just another guy. You ain't the first, you won't be the last.
exactly. And then
That's
for
the energy.
me, it was just when I noticed, like on the one time, like I bought her some perfume, and her sister liked it. Then she told her sister I can get her a perfume without even asking me, like the same fragrance. And I was just like, how about try asking me first instead of just assuming I'm just gonna do it. And this is a sister that doesn't really talk to me, and it was just kind of weird, because like,
All right.
and also, like you said, I wasn't supposed to be in that family because,
Right.
I don't know you from a can of paint. I just know you from, subscribing to your channel.
Uh-huh.
I super chatted before. I sent you a message on Facebook, and just you just dropped so much knowledge. And I realized for that family, if you can show me this much love, and we've never met, and I've done things for that family. The love wasn't reciprocated. Whether, like, I'm starting my channel. I shouldn't have to ask her to promote my channel. You know, I shouldn't have to ask her to, hey, do this for my channel. Like, where can we go that, like, not to say we'll go viral, but like, what's a good place in Costa Rica that we can go to that will put people onto game, you
Correct.
know? And every time it's like she didn't know where to go. I'm like, you lived here for a long time. She wasn't born there, but she lived there since she was like 3 years old. And you didn't know where to go. Like, that's where it's like sometimes for me, it's like something was fishy. And it's just like, I'm okay. And she was just really pushing the marriage thing because we were supposed to get married in July. And she was just pushing it and pushing it. And
Of
then,
course.
I saw some things that, like, because I always kept a watchful eye, and I wasn't drunk in love, but I was in love, but wasn't drunk in love. So I like one day, because WhatsApp app, I didn't realize you can do this on WhatsApp. You can actually block somebody from seeing what you post.
Right. Correct.
And she blocked me, and I was been blocked for months because I just assumed she wasn't posting anything. And then, just like you said, that community piece, like I had a friend, a good friend, and he said, "Oh, I didn't know you went to the beach." I was like, "What are you talking about?" Then he was like, "Uh-oh," because
Wah, wah.
then he showed me the video of her going to the beach, and but I was like, when she must have did this, months before me because we were together, and I just asked her about it, like, what's going on here? Like, why can I not see your videos that you post? And then she told me, oh, I blocked you because I knew you wouldn't approve of it.
So
So
she's
it's
at
just
least she
like,
was honest.
at least, yeah, exactly. At least she was honest. Like, oh, then at first she tried to lie about it. I was just like, it is what it is. But then I did tell her, like, I can't trust you. If you're doing something this childish, how can I trust you? So I called it off. And then she told her family, I'm the bad guy. Say hello to the bad guy. So
Always. You're gonna always be the bad guy. You didn't know that? What movie have you been watching that you weren't the bad guy? If she had
and then
left you, everybody would have said, "What did you do wrong?" You leaving
exactly.
her, everybody's gonna say, "What did you do wrong?" You're always the bad
Mhm.
guy in separations. It's rare that a woman is considered the bad guy in a separation. That's why it's so
And
easy to divorce in the United States. Over 90% of divorces are done by women because most people are gonna look at the male as the bad guy, and so the
yes.
woman can get away with her behavior.
And one thing I want to say to whoever watched this video, please keep your money in your money in your wallet. Because you're gonna think you're doing such great works for her, and you're gonna be thinking like, man, why would she do this to me? I'm being such the great man that women, ideally women always talk about that what they want. So if I was my advice to every man that will watch this or woman, keep your money in your wallet. Don't do for don't don't do for people because don't do for people financially because they're supposed to be financially secured before you. And that's where, like, you mentioned, what is she doing? What is that person doing, prior to you? So that's why I say don't give out any money because it's just a waste. It's just a money pit. They're not going to be grateful for it, So it's just
And they shouldn't
they,
be.
they're just gonna take it and just it is what it is.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
that's exactly how it works, and that's how it works. And they
Yes.
shouldn't. You should the problem with many good guys like you and I, we have a tendency of trying to rescue people or help people because we're good people. You know, we
Yes.
have a philanthropy in our DNA. And so, and I'm not talking about simps. I'm just talking about just
No.
being a good dude in your neighborhood. If somebody just asks you
Yeah.
for a few dollars, you got their back. And a lot of people want to take advantage of the philanthropy DNA. And
Yes.
so the people and let's put it like this, since you know that you're wired like that, and I know that I'm wired like that, we have to be careful with the type of foreign women and foreign families.
Mhm.
That's my number one thing. Forget about the woman. Find out as fast as possible about her family. If she ain't got no family connections, let her go. If she's
Yes.
got family connections, and we know Latin women love to introduce you to their families immediately. And so meet the family. And if that family dynamic is trash, I don't care how good that coochie is. I don't care how good she cook. You might be thinking like, well, I don't got to deal with the families. No, we all know Latin in the Latin community, the person and the family are one. It's
Yes.
been like that thousands of years before you came, and it'll be thousands of years after you ain't in that family no more. It'll be like that. So you
Yeah.
know that that person is an off branch of what their family is. So to ignore that is you doing yourself a disservice. So at the end of the day, make sure that you get to see that family as soon as possible. And if you don't jail with that family, you don't jail with that person. Let that
Yes.
person go. That's my number one advice. It'll never fail you. It'll never let you down. It's rare that you find a person that comes from a tempestuous family, but that person is a good person.
Hmm.
They
And
they
also,
they overcome the evils of their family. It's very rare. It's possible, but it's rare.
it's rare. And I want to say this to everyone that's going to be watching this. It's okay to leave. It's
Yeah.
okay. Don't think that you're a bad person. It's okay to leave because what's going to happen, you're going to be the next one broken. You know, their family is, they're going to look out for their family member. So it's okay to leave, you know. So don't look at it yourself as a bad person because if it doesn't fit, and if you know how your parents, you know, will act, because like, you know, me being foreign, you know, there's some parallels, there's some similarities, I mean, you know, but if you don't see that, like I based upon how my mom is. If my mom is very loving, friendly, affectionate,
Hmm.
and you know, especially when my sister was getting married, and you know, my brother-in-law, she was happy to see her son-in-law happy, like cooking for him, hugging him, you know, just embracing him. But if that family is not doing none of that, like that's a red flag, you know, and you need to understand that you shouldn't be there because if they're not, if the mom, I can be honest, I never hugged her mom. I can be,
Wow.
mom never gave me a hug.
No. In the Latin
I,
community?
I can be
Man.
honest, mom never gave me a hug. You know,
Oh, no.
so like now I'm thinking about it, it never happened. Someone
Wow.
that's gonna take care of your daughter. I've never received a hug from her. So therefore, not saying everybody's different, I get it, but someone is gonna marry your daughter and you're not like hugging that man. You're not being thankful. You're not
Now,
being like grateful. Not even
now,
about being grateful, but because we know in these countries, poverty is real.
facts.
And
We don't.
you see someone that's, you know, that has it together. Oh man, that's heaven sent. So yeah, it was just different. Like and I'm glad I didn't, you know, just go through with it and thinking it's gonna get better because it wasn't. You
That's
know,
so true.
so my question to you, like you touched upon family, looking for the right things is actually family, making sure she has, some business about herself. Like what do you think is the common errors that people make? Whether it's male or female.
We ignore what we see. We look at these people through. I mean, Andre and I were talking. My wife, we're talking about this afternoon about how American men or foreign men from the United States, Europe, or wherever it may be, have a bad, bad habit of looking at women in other countries through rose-colored glasses and not realizing that we are humans, or that they are humans like the
Preach.
rest of us. We put their beauty on a pedal. Now, mind you, as far as I've seen, as far as I know, women that are the most beautiful continent in the world, and people say Africa, but I beg to differ. And I'll tell you why. The
Okay.
most beautiful continent in the world is South America, because you have so many Africans here, and because you have so many Asians here. You have the most beautiful of the most beautiful Asians here, the most beautiful of the most beautiful Africans here. You have the most beautiful of the most beautiful indigenous here, the most
Yeah.
beautiful of the most beautiful Portuguese here under the auspices of Brazilians and the Venezuelans. You're on a continent of non-stop between Central and South America, non-stop beauty.
Yes.
Whether it be Peru, whether it be Ecuador, you nonstop beauty in these countries. And so a lot of guys have the habit of taking the beauty of Brazil or the beautiful women of Venezuelans that are here in Colombia, and they pedestalize it. And once you put beauty on a pedestal, that means that she doesn't have to showcase any good behavior or anything positive or any other accomplishments, because you put her beauty on a pedestal. The reason why I said Africa is not the most beautiful continent, the continent with the most beautiful women in the world, because for the most part, Africa is a continent of, let me put it like this, one race per se. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
You mainly have the black race. So you don't have that eclectic uh, uh,
The
uh,
variety.
choices or variety. Thank you. Variety that you would have in South America. That's the only difference. African women, all 54 continents, gorgeous, beautiful, from Ethiopia all the way down to South Africa, from Egypt all the way to Tanzania. Yes, they're beautiful, gorgeous women. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when it comes to having various choices and they're gorgeous, no continent beats South America, hands down.
Yeah.
And so the mistake that I see a lot of guys make, man, you got to stop. You got to take a deep breath.
Yes.
You got to stop pedestalizing. We have to stop looking at these women as if they're not like, as if, no, there's never any feminism in South and Central America. There's a form of that here. Yes, it is. No woman is walking around saying marry baby mamas like they saying in the States. Oh, yes, the hell they do. No, no. What? See, dudes don't think about that. They don't. They see the States, and they look at the States, and the women in the States are saying you should marry baby mamas. And well, they're saying that in South America and Central America. They're only saying that in Spanish. But since you don't know Spanish, you
You don't
assume
know.
you don't know. You don't know. So you don't have conversations. But that's the difference between when you relocate. Once you relocate,
Yes.
you get to hear the real conversations what these women in these other countries are saying. And you start to realize, wait a minute, these women in many aspects sound just like the ladies back home, but for different reasons. Now,
Yes.
women in the States have a different reason, and they may be publicly embarrassing, to where in Central or South America, you might not see a woman doing road rage, or you may not see a waitress being disrespectful,
Yeah.
or you may not see two people in the middle of the street arguing and fighting, two women. You may not see that as often, if at all, in Central or South America, or even in parts of Africa sometimes. But
Mhm.
you'll see that normally in the States under that I'm a boss B and can't nobody talk to me, like, all that rhetoric.
But
But
like
my
you said,
point, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me finish your thought. My apologies.
No, and like I said, I don't want to sound like I was rambling, but at the end of the day, we got to stop pedestalizing the number one thing that we get off that plane for, their beauty. We got to start looking at these people like they're human beings. Once you start to realize that these women are human and that they are good and that they're bad, there are some that are supportive and there are some that are scammers. Once we start realizing that the same balancing scale of responsibility of vetting a woman is just like in North America or in Europe, we have to do the same thing in South America or Central America or even other continents that we go to.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm gonna mention like guys that like one thing I noticed when I do like since I'm trying to relocate, my
Mm-hmm.
conversations with women are totally different. I'm just trying to like, pick their brain, like see what's going on. Like, just check the temperature. I'm just dipping a toe. And and the women come across, they're baby mamas, multiple baby daddies. That's just not just the United States thing. That's everywhere I've traveled. you know, and people would like certain men would like to say that, oh, the women out in the West are much better. No, they're the same. Like
Correct.
women, all one thing I know about all women want to be taken care of, and love and live a good life. But a lot of these women I've seen like overseas with the multiple different baby daddies, and it's like that doesn't even bother them, you know. And then when I ask them, like, where's the child's father? The answer they'll say, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Like you don't know? Like, do you actually know or you don't? Like you truly don't know? And some of them they will say their child's father, they allude, they move, they change their numbers. Some of them will say that. And I'm like, wow. And and I like to tell people like, hey, black men don't really have a bad rap. It's just that when you go to these, Latin American countries and like some of these Spanish men, they just their women just don't badmouth them. So
True. So you do hear it uh out in the
you don't hear it.
open. And then when they do, it's not globalized. It stays within the
Their
language
community.
barrier of their community. Absolutely correct. If you don't know Spanish, you wouldn't know that was going on. But
Exactly.
it's not exposed because Latin people in South America and Central America for the most part don't know that much English. But they can tell you all our dirty laundry,
Oh,
whether
absolutely.
it be our white laundry, whether it be our Asian laundry, whether it be our Middle Eastern laundry, whether it be our black laundry in the United States. They could tell you all our business and they can barely speak English. But
Oh,
when it comes to
absolutely.
their business,
Oh, it's quiet
you
as
got,
kept.
yeah, yeah, you got think about it. You got people in the UK, United States, as well as Canada don't even know that there are black people in South America.
Yeah.
And there's
And
more black people in South America than there's almost 3 times as many black people in just Brazil alone than
yeah.
in the United States.
Yeah. Like we said, like because we know the truth, you know what I mean? Like as we travel, we're seeing it, and we have an unbiased lens on it, so we're seeing the truth. So I just don't, like you said, stop wearing the rose tinted glasses,
Glasses.
lenses. Stop, because that's when you're dealing with a woman. She doesn't even know where her child's father is. That's crazy. Like that's crazy, and like the country doesn't have resources to even track him down. And
No.
I'm not even sure if I know in Costa Rica, but I'm not too sure about Colombia. But in Costa Rica, there is child support, but they have to find the guy.
Yeah, it's like that here too.
Okay. But like,
It's like
for
that.
for an American, I want to put this out there for any man that's thinking or woman that's thinking to date in Costa Rica or get married to a Costa Rican person. Remember, they don't know the women have rights there, and it's a great thing, but just they have to be aware that common law marriage it kicks in in 2 years. So if
Here,
you're Western Union Poppy and sending money, all she has to do is go to the courts and say, hey, he's been sending me money for 2 years, and this is how I was able to survive. They're going to make you continue to pay. As you continue to pay, and if you're stuck in that country, guess what? You cannot leave until it's paid off in full for the year. So you like a lot of men don't know that, especially that's for Costa Rica. I'm speaking about Costa Rica, and that was like the situation that I was in. I'm thinking like, okay, I called off the wedding, and now because my friend told me, because his sister's in law school, they told me like, hey, she can get you for support because it's
alimony.
common law, even though you're not married. So I was thinking, I was like, I cut my trip short and I got up out of there because of the simple fact that, they could have stopped me. That's if she wanted to do that. She didn't do it. So as if she wanted to do that. That's if she was petty. That would have happened to me. And I just want to tell guys like, hey, this is the reality of not picking the right woman. What can happen to you? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, uh, and the key part is just being patient.
Oh,
It is. I know
absolutely.
you met. I know guys have met this one on their vacation, and she's so sparkly and she's so special. I got you. Her, and a lot of guys don't realize her characteristics are, common in the Latin community, but we think that her characteristics or traits are so special. Yeah, oh my God, she's cooking for me, bruh. She cooks for
That's
her
right.
brother, her uncle, her cousins, her male friends, her male co-workers. She cooks for everybody. What the you
That's
talking
regular.
about? You're nobody special, bro, when it comes to that kitchen. Okay, so
Yeah.
calm down. The
Yeah.
the other thing is, so we have to learn to be a little bit more patient with our choosing. I know we're ready to settle down and find love and things like that and build a new life in a new country. But one of the things we have to do is establish ourselves in that new country. The woman should be the bottom of the totem pole. They should be the cherry. They should be the cherry on top of the cake. Your job is to focus on the cake. I'm going to say this again. If you are focusing on the cherry and you're missing out on the cake, in other words, your job is to be celebrating. Whenever I do live streams, I do this a lot. I celebrate the cost of living in a new country. I'll talk about healthcare and the fact that I don't have to pay overboard. My copay is only 84 cents. And I've had 2 major surgeries in wonderful hospitals here in Colombia, and I pay zero out of pocket with the medical insurance that I have. I talk about the foods. I talk about the health. I talk about the healthy water. I talk about how my skin looks so good for 58 years old. I talk about the gyms. I talk about the people themselves. If you are focusing so much on the cherry, which is females, you are missing out on the whole damn cake.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and that's where we have, like I said, your mindset has to change to relocation, and I was going to ask you, how were you able to, what insurance do you use? Because that's another thing, like a lot of expats don't like, or people don't know, like, wh- what insurance company is the best one to use? Or and like not the best one to use, but like, what's the
Yeah,
insurance company to use while in Colombia?
you have, especially for those that are just moving to Colombia and you're looking to even live here or in let's put it like this, in any country, you plan on living in that country, you're going to have to get a long-term visa. In order to get a
Yeah.
long-term visa in most countries, they're going to ask you for this: international health insurance.
Mm.
You can Google what are the top 10 international health insurance coverages or yeah, coverages that are available, and the list will pull up. Now, for those that follow our Patreon, we got the list in our Patreon.
Yeah.
I also have the list in the book that I'm creating, or that I'm launching in a couple weeks. But at the end of the day, you have to have international health insurance. You can't have regular health insurance. Even
Mm-mm.
if you are ex-military. I know some of you military dudes, well, they got a base in that country, they got a base in this country.
It
Cool.
doesn't.
But for those countries that don't have military bases for you to where you will be able to use medical services there, you need to get international health insurance in order to acquire a long-term visa, whether it be in Portugal, whether it be in Spain, whether it be parts of Africa, whether it be parts of Brazil. Doesn't matter. Most countries ask you, do you have international health insurance? It's not expensive. A lot of
Mhm.
times it's less expensive than the insurance that you pay in the States while you're living there. But at the end
Yeah.
of the day, international health insurance covers you because you're not a citizen of that country yet. That's why they ask for that. If
Mhm.
anything happens to you, like in my case, 2 surgeries, you have to be able to have some form of coverage. Now, since I'm married and I'm local and I have residency, my insurance is different. But
Yes.
when you first come to a country and you want to get a visa to stay there a year or two, or up to 5 years or 10 years, you have to have international health insurance. So for those that don't know, Google international health insurance coverage or companies or companies, and a whole list will pull up. I know Blue Cross Blue Shield has Blue Gold. You have
Mhm.
Aetna that has one. You have IMG is an excellent one. IMG has an excellent package for expats and for people relocating to another country. So international health insurance is not expensive as your insurance may be coming out of your paycheck every month while you're in the States or in UK or in Canada, but that's exactly what you need. And you're right, a lot of people don't take time to talk about that. That's why I
Mhm.
say stop focusing on the cherry, focus on the cake.
Absolutely, because when you don't like certain when I travel, I always get travelers insurance. Um,
Right.
I'll get the whole nine because you just never know. You'd rather be safe than sorry,
Right.
and like for the visa thing, for the visa process in Colombia, did you find it to be hard? Was it like was like the
No,
office kind of too lax? Like did it take a long time to process your
no.
papers? Okay.
No. In Colombia, you once it's submitted, my wife does a lot of visas for a lot of brothers that come through, and uh, they tell you it takes 30 days for a response. They usually get back with you in 2 weeks, especially if you
Oh
left
wow.
something out and they're like, "Hey, send me this. You forgot to put this in here," and so
Mhm.
they'll send a response in regards to what needs to be done. What I do recommend dudes don't do when it comes to any country, don't overstay the minimum amount of time or the maximum amount of time that you can stay in that
Yeah.
country. If that
No,
country
absolutely.
tells you every 90 days you need to file for an extension online, file for that extension. One of the biggest problems I see that dudes do is that they become immigrants in other countries. In other words, they just overstay their visa. I mean, the
Mhm.
passport. The passports, you're supposed to just stay there for 90 days, then file for another 90-day extension. You don't, because you
Yes.
so busy being up in between that girl's legs that you just stay, and next thing you know, a year and a half has gone by. Well, it's only a fee, yes, but they're going to judge you and your behavior when it's time to apply for a visa.
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely, and,
yes, it's a misdemeanor. Yes, it's just a fee. Yes, you can come back into their country, but when it's time to apply for a long-term visa, that will have implications. And now
mhm.
they're asking for a federal background check. And you're like, why are they asking me for a federal background check? Because now it's part of the visa requirement. All this could have been not taking place if you had lifted your face up from between her legs, went on ahead and filed for that extension, and did what you need to do.
Yes, because like, in, Costa Rica is different, like, you can do, like, a tourist visa, and they give you, like, 180 days, and sometimes
Right.
I've seen, and I've, like, looked online, seen, different expat groups for Costa Rica, where you don't even need to apply for the tourist visa. You can stay there, but you better be out before the, 180 days is up.
Right.
So, like, for Costa Rica, sometimes I remember one time I bought a one-way ticket there. They didn't ask when are you leaving. You can stay up there till 100, no, 179 days. You gotta make
Uh-huh.
sure but you can only do
Right.
it once a year, you
Right, that's
know.
how it is in Colombia too.
So you can only do it once a year. So that's like for me, like I said, I definitely want to move to coast. I definitely want to I don't want to make any place permanent yet. And like if
Right.
if I have a family, of course it'll be a permanent location. But for me, is I would try to rotate, 3 to 4 months, for a different country, like every 3 to 4 months.
That's the other
I'll
thing you
just
want to ask
rotate.
yourself. You
Say it
want to
again.
ask yourself. That's another thing you want to ask yourself. Does this chick have a passport? If your woman ain't even got a passport and
That's
you are a traveler, that is the red flag of all red flags. This chick doesn't even have or can get on her own before you came along a passport, but you fell in love with this. So when you get ready to go to DR to visit and live on and enjoy the beach, your woman can't go because she ain't got a passport.
and
If you
and,
decide to go to Europe, your woman can't go because she ain't got a passport. You
and
guys
I
gotta
know
start
you.
thinking about this stuff.
And my ex fiance, she didn't have a passport,
Get that.
and I was just like, why you don't have a passport? They always make some excuse about the visa thing. Oh, it's hard,
Has
and
nothing to do with nothing.
no,
It's
it has
not.
nothing to do with it. It's and also people got to realize this: class matters.
Yes, it
It's
does.
class matters. It's classism, and you got to understand
Especially
that.
in the Latin communities.
Yes, class matters. You know what? You know where they rank. You know where they rank, because and that's another thing. I had to go double back for the chicas part. Most men cannot get the educated women. You just
Not
don't
true.
run into that. No, no, no,
Not
no.
true.
I mean, I'm just only if you're vacationing.
Not
I
true.
don't. Okay, I mean,
Y'all don't want
I
to see the educated women. Y'all don't take
say
time off for the educated women. The educated women, they only can make it out to the club on the weekends. You need somebody that can party every day. That is the problem that I see with most dudes.
oh,
I've been here for 7 years this year. I've
wow.
seen the behavior patterns of most men. You will
Mhm.
gravitate to what you normally gravitate to in your home country. If you are a guy that really doesn't give women that have educations a good chance, meaning that I'm not talking about if only 40% of the women you deal with are educated in the States. I'm
Mhm.
talking about a majority of the women that you deal with in the States should be educated. And the universe, no matter where you go on this planet, will introduce you to what you are accustomed to,
Oh,
even
absolutely.
even if it's for networking. But if you were in the States and you kind of like dabbled with educated women, but most of the women that you were dealing with, they work at the factory, the foundry, the plant. They worked as little secretary here and there. That's what you're gonna get in another country, and that's what the universe
Mhm.
gonna introduce you to. And that's what guys are so surprised. Like, well, how'd you meet dude? You think Andre was the first dude? The my first trip, a 5-day trip to Medellin, attorney, doctor, and another one that was in school
Mhm.
to be a nurse. I'm only there for 5 days. But since I'm not brothel, pay for play, scammer chicks, party girls, the universe didn't introduce me to those. The universe introduced other guys to those women. So all
Mhm.
they know are scammer chicks, all they know are pay for play, all they know are party girls, all they know are scammers. That's all they know. But all
Yeah.
those office buildings are filled, and all those hospitals and all those attorney offices in the cities that you go through in Costa Rica are not only filled with men, they are filled with educated, successful, gorgeous, motivated women. And I know
Yeah.
so many dudes that even meet women. Well, I own this beauty salon over here, or I'm in school for this, or I'm
Mhm.
female that I was kicking it with, this Afro Colombian that I was kicking with at one point in time. She was a politician. She worked with the mayor's office in Medellin.
Yeah.
But those are the type of women that I gravitated to in the States. So you gonna get who you are. And if
Exactly.
that's who you gravitate to in the States, dudes be mind boggled when they get to other countries. Like, why can't I meet the edge? I guess it's not meant because those upper class. I'm like, man, y'all crazy.
No, because
I
for
don't know.
real,
I'm
for
meeting
like,
these girls. Uh, dude, Me and my wife got to go to church every Sunday. My wife goes 3 times a week, and
Mm.
it's filled with gorgeous sisters in church. So when these dudes be talking about, where the church girls? I see them every Sunday.
Yeah.
We got 2,000 people in our church. And to sit back and be like, because you don't gravitate. Let me let you go ahead.
No, but you know what? You're absolutely right because wherever you are, there you are. So
Yes, sir.
if you're not looking for if you don't want the educated woman, you're not going to find her. Like you said,
No.
these people are not on Tinder. They're not in the club. They you know what I mean? Like they're not where you think they are. And like you said, and I think it's really your mindset. Like, what are you looking for? You know, because I remember you said this before. You were looking for, a family. You're
Mhm,
looking for someone who
mhm.
comes from a good family and whatnot. So if your mindset is that, it's not a good time. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's something that's serious you're looking for. So once I like you said, like if the men are looking for something serious, then you will find it. But like you said, in the States, I talk to only educated women in the States,
And so
so it's like that's all I'm gonna go for. And I'm not gonna settle less for that when I go abroad.
and
It doesn't make any sense.
that's why your situation abroad didn't work out, because
Mm-mm.
you were allowing her to come into an element, a universe that she doesn't
No,
belong in.
nothing.
You were trying to fit yourself into a universe that you normally don't fit in either. I
No.
think that one of the mistakes that we as expats make or travelers make, we assume that we can fit into any circle. I know I'm bougie. I don't fit into every circle. I don't go into every
Mm-mm.
neighborhood. You know how some of those YouTubers can go the most dangerous neighborhood in Brazil. I can't go there.
No.
They see the bouginess in me, and I see myself looking at this area like, what the hell? I worked too hard to get out of the hood like this. Why am I
Actually,
coming to Brazil to be in a hood like this? They'll
mm-mm.
see it on my face like, no, is that a roach next to a baby? Is that a Brazilian roach next to a baby?
Oh man.
So, so
Yeah,
the roach is
I
son of a
don't
danger.
I don't do the I don't do the ghetto. Mm-mm, not at all. And but you're absolutely right because as many times as I visit Costa Rica, I need to definitely brush up on my Spanish a lot more, be a lot more fluent in, because I have talked to a nurse, and I'm gonna tell you guys, fellas out there, it ain't easy. What I mean by that is not, don't think she's about to be so thrilled that, oh, I'm talking to an American. That's not it. Especially if they are financially well to do. Like the when I was talking to the nurse in Costa Rica, she's originally from Panama. She lives in Costa Rica now. And for her, me and her was talking, it was just like and she said, I'm like, why are you single? Like you're like, very attractive woman, Afro Latina, very attractive. And I kind of like, we was just talking. And I just said, like, maybe she just can't find her equal, because what she's looking for is a successful man, educated man. And it's just like you said, they're out there. You just cannot, you just can't nickel and dime them in thinking that your presence alone is going to do it. So you gotta
And
come
the
different.
and correct. And what I find in Central and South America uh, is that they're looking for equal is different from the States. Women in the
Yeah.
States are looking for equal because it's a status thing. It's a I want to drain his money and save my money.
Hmm.
That's how they're looking. I need somebody to take me to Ruth Chris type
Yeah.
of thing. In South and Central America, it's listen, I understand as a man, you bust your butt to get out the hood to make your money.
Hmm.
So did I. I'm a
Yeah.
farm. I work to get off a farm, and now I make a substantial amount of money that my family can't even relate to.
Yeah.
Most of the men in my city can't relate to me. So I need somebody that can at least relate to me. That's how it is in
Yes.
South America and Central America. I need somebody that can build with me, that can
Yes.
understand when I'm saying, babe, I gotta work extra hours today, that he can understand that. It's not, oh, I'm a diva. Look at me. I could do all the diva by myself. See, remember, at the end of the day, no matter how much money women are making in South America, many of them, if not most of them, especially Central America too, they come from the family dynamic. They, at the end of the day, they know one day I'm going to be 70, 80 years old. And at
Hmm.
70, 80 years old, most of the people I know got families.
Yeah.
So in the United States, women don't see that. They see the material. They don't see the family dynamic. You got women right now in the United States celebrating uh that they ain't got no kids, calling it kid free. I'm not childless. I'm child free. Chick, you 58 years old. You ain't child free, you childless. But they'll twist the terms to make them
Yeah.
still look like they're marketable on the market.
Yes.
So that's why this woman is in Costa Rica, or uh, is waiting patiently for the type of person that will gel with her, because she, at the end of the day, she's looking to combine what she has and build a family
Exactly.
from it, to whereas back in the States is just a status symbol. That's all you
Oh
are,
yeah.
man. You're the emblem on the front of a BMW, Mercedes, or Jaguar.
No, no,
That's
you're
all
right.
you
No,
are.
you're absolutely right. And I noticed that difference between my ex fiance and that nurse. The nurse wasn't going for nothing, like in the sense of like, because she's educated, she knew her worth. Not saying my ex didn't, but it was just more so like, how can, like you said, how can we build together? How can we, come together and move forward together? Whereas my ex was, you got it.
Yep.
I'll just sit back. It ain't even Batman and Robin.
And
It wasn't even, it wasn't even attack. It wasn't even a partnership. It wasn't that at all. It was just, hey, you got it. You can do it. I'm just waiting
you know
on you
why?
to bring it back.
You know why she did that? And she should have, because you carried yourself like that.
Mm,
You carried yourself like you was the Chippendale Rescue Ranger. You carried yourself like you was Superman. All you got to do is jump in the booth. You carry yourself like Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's superpower is that he never gives up. You did that. She saw what you did, and so she figured, let me put it on cruise control, because he carries himself as if he's always got it. So I guess he's always got it.
so how
You
how do so how do men not do that?
follow the patterns of the locals. The men in Costa Rica ain't doing it. I ain't doing it.
Mm,
The men in Costa Rica ain't taking you to that spot unless it's a special reason. I ain't taking you to that spot unless it's a special reason, until I am confident in who we are together. And I'm confident
mm.
in who you are. Once I'm confident, okay, we can hit the 5-star restaurants in Costa Rica. But prior to that, yeah, we're gonna hit this. How much was that bill? $4 for breakfast for two. Yeah, we're gonna hit that spot today. We always want to splurge. We want to, I got it. And I tell brothers, and I got to get ready to go in a second.
Okay.
I got it. We get treated like trash in the States. Black dudes, white dudes, everybody going through it right now.
Yes.
And then you go to another country and you got a few dollars in your pocket and you just want to have a good time with something beautiful in your arm in a cold cerveza. Got you. But
Mm,
when you do it, be ready that there is repercussions for the actions of moving with your money first.
yes.
Just take the chick. This is South America and Central America. Take her to a zoo. She gonna be impressed.
Yes.
Coffee dates. She gonna be impressed. To the park. She gonna be impressed. How do you know, Andre? Because the zoo, the coffee spots, and the parks are full of South American and Latin American couples. If
Mhm.
the local dude is doing it, who the heck are you to think that you can't get a woman by doing it?
Mm. And I know you got to leave. Any like final, any like I know you've been dropping gems. Any final thoughts or gems that you want to drop on the viewers?
I am excited for us all. That's the final words I have to say is that I'm excited for us all. We're infants in this movement when it comes to travel on a global basis. Yeah, we did it during World War One, World War Two, Vietnam War, Korean War, so forth and so forth. Yeah, those are military dudes. And I know some of us have done it. Some of the white guys have been doing it for years. Yes. But on a massive scale, as far as black males doing it, it's only been about good 5 to 10, 15 years that we've been actually doing this. We're still in our infancy. Don't be frustrated. We're going to make a lot of mistakes. Don't be frustrated. A lot of us are still trying to learn the languages. You're still trying to learn the culture. You're still trying to learn the countries. Don't be frustrated. Take your time. If you're gifted with the gift of longevity, take your time. It's going to all work itself out, and you're going to thank yourself for taking your time and not rushing into something such as you did. You took your time, and when you saw the red flags, you bagged off. So kudos to you, man, for taking your time, and thank you very much for allowing me to be on your platform, man. You're gonna be growing and blowing up before you know it, man. And you're gonna be the
Yeah,
one giving the advice.
man. Thank you for actually coming, man, because I really appreciate it, man. Like it shows how this brotherhood and how real you are as a man that show love and support. I really appreciate it, man. Like you're amazing. Like, and if everyone's watching this, subscribe to Love Crossing Borders.
Oh yeah.
If it's a great channel, it's an informational channel about Colombia and many other topics as well. So please stay tuned and subscribe to Love Crossing Borders, man.
All right, guys. You guys have a great evening, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side of the matrix.
All right, man. Take
All right,
care.
brother. You too.
All right. All right, guys. That's our show. I'm glad that you stayed tuned to watch it. Don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. And Tico Negro out.